Welcome to the Spooky Nerd Club, everyone. I'm your host, Ray, and today I'm back with the horror girl herself. She was on the last episode. We talked about the Terrifier franchise, and in today's video, we're actually going to talk about a film from the 80s, and it's called Slumber Party Massacre. So let's jump right into it. And horror girl, I want to ask you, what's your first impression of Slumber Party Massacre?
Okay, so like we talked about before we started this, I thought I had seen this movie before, and like I feel like it's pretty popular, so I definitely thought I would have watched it. Hadn't seen it. Watched it last night. Watched both of them last night.
Be truthful.
It was creative, okay? It was a little bit of a slow burn, I think. There's some things I probably would have changed, but it was fun. I did like it. It was fun.
I don't know if you know, but like the director Amy Holden Jones, she had a full female basically cast, and she wanted to show like female empowerment in this film. And a lot of the roles that you see some of the women in are not your typical roles that you would see females in from like 1982, because that's when the film came out.
Right.
One of the first girls you see that get killed, she's a carpenter. The basketball coach is a lead female. And there's even a scene where like John Minor, he tries to scare his girlfriend Gina, and she literally like grabs his arm and judo flips him
On the street, yeah.
Yeah, so like I remember just like seeing that and being like, all right, so like all these girls are pretty much badass in this film.
They are.
You know, so they're gonna definitely beat this killer up when they actually get into the action with them. So I just thought it was cool, whatever.
I love that.
But I will say I do like part 2 more.
I loved part 2.
Come on, baby. We're gonna rock and roll.
Also, I wanted to ask you, like, what elements in the film did you like find kind of most enjoyable, you know?
The weapon. First of all. That's
the drill,
crazy. Right? That is so cool. But then what I also liked is there were so many like gags where you think that it's gonna be a kill and you're like, oh shit, and then it's not.
Oh, hi, Rachel.
Or like something will be playing and somebody's getting like murdered outside, but it's like it's lining up with the TV. Like those little things that she threw in there I think are really cool.
After Russ Thorne kills Brink Stevens in the school, he literally runs out of the school, haul ass and book into his car like no one else would be around, and he just fucking guns it for the minivan and takes off. If I was him, I probably would have did the same thing. And the fact that they're showing this in the movie just makes it hilarious to me.
So like when you bring that up right now, it's hilarious to me and I can't stop laughing. But like last night I was like, what is going on? But then now when we think about it, like I get it why it's hilarious.
It's just something that around that time that you didn't see much. Like a lot of slasher films, everyone was so mysterious, but we see this guy fully within like the first kill. Yeah. We know what he looks like. There's no mystery behind it. He's in a fucking full jean outfit and a red shirt with a drill. I mean, it's just the creepiest looking kind of guy that you don't want to hire to like fix your car. Like
I think I didn't get that it was a horror comedy until I watched the second one, because in the second one the comedy is so obvious, but in the first one it's like a little bit more subtle. So then when I look back at stuff in the first one, I'm like, okay, well I get what that's supposed to be funny. It's like not supposed to be so serious.
Courtney, what are you doing?
I'm upstairs doing my biology homework.
Why do I find that hard to believe?
Don't laugh. I have to concentrate.
First of all the kill scenes I just think were amazing. Because like the gore wasn't good, obviously, but like they were just still so cool, and the weapon made all of them just awesome because it's so ridiculous. The drill thing is insane to me. Also, it's loud. Like, the drill is not quiet. It's such an odd choice. I don't know.
It's like he handcrafted this drill just to kill people.
Aha, number 54.
They kind of made it look like a, you know, a T, which is, I feel like is kind of resembling kind of a penis in his own.
Well, the poster, like you were saying, is like the drill. He's holding it down, you know, like in between his legs. Like I feel like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be suggestive, I think. Like at the end, the ending scene where they do actually kill him, like, and he was screaming. First of all, that's another scene that, like, I can't stop thinking about. Is just how ridiculous it was when he was screaming at the girls.
This serious scene where he's just like staring at her. She's like, "I love you."
Yeah, what is that? I don't understand.
All of you were very pretty.
Please don't do this.
I love you.
What is he saying?
According to him, he looked at it as one of those things where it was like, I love you so much, I have to kill you.
Yeah.
That's where his character in his head was going, which I kind of understand, whatever. It was very weird, and if you didn't like know all of this, that these guys were doing these deep dives into these characters and method acting and shit like that, it just would have been like, what the fuck is going on? Kind of a thing.
Kind of was.
Yeah,
A little bit
confused.
was, like, confusing.
Cut it out, you guys.
Do you think the film would have been creepier if they made Russ Thorn like more mysterious and not show him like so much throughout the film?
So, like, would it have been creepier? Probably, because we don't know who's after everybody, so it's kind of like, you know, it just adds mystery anyways. And plus, like, even if it's Michael Myers where they're showing his face and you know who he is, like, you really don't know who he is. You just, like, he's spooky the whole time. This is just a guy, and he's, like, kind of weird looking, and we know who it is the whole time, so there's no, like, lead up to anything. But I think at this point, we've established it's kind of supposed to be, like, funny. So I think it works for this, for sure, because he's so goofy.
Funny moment I remember is in the middle of a chase scene near the end of the film, Russ Thorn literally decides to lay on the floor, grab a blanket, and lay it over his head. I don't know if he was taking a nap or what, but it just felt, maybe they were just going for the creepy aspect, but it just felt so random that this would happen, that a killer would even do this, knowing that one of the victims was literally hiding under the couch and can see him laying on the floor, putting a blanket over his head. You know, now that I think about it, that's, I guess, what the comedic part of all of this is.
Yeah, all the weird stuff like that.
Shouts out to her for like being more innovative than we all anticipated. Do you think Russ Thorn should have been in the sequel as the Driller Killer?
No. No, because let me just tell you why. I love the Driller Killer in the second one. Like, his character is incredible. The guitar thing, which is so random, is awesome. Especially for like the 80s.
I love the guitar.
Like, it's so 80s. Like, I loved it. I loved that. So I'm glad that the weird Russ Thorn from the first one was not in the second one, because this whole new character is so much better.
Now it's time for the fun part. I love to jam it to the floor, let me twice spots roar. Well, I'm an inch off the ground, the speakers all around, baby. I got a rather large amount in a Swiss bank account.
Do you see the performance this guy puts on in part 2? He puts on a whole dance scene. His swag is so delicious. It's just so much better than the first one. People are gonna kill me for this. I feel like I'm talking about him like he's some top-notch type of actor, but like the performance that he just gave just works so perfect for the silliness of this type of film. It's just perfect to me, and I don't care what anyone says.
I agree.
Slumber Party Massacre 2 is my favorite one in this franchise.
So much better.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Alright, so I pretty much came up with some fun facts that I think you guys will all enjoy for Slumber Party Massacre. And on the first one I have is Roger Corman required in the film that nudity had to be in the first 5 minutes of the film because apparently that was just a trademark at the time for him.
What we do to deserve this? I think we died and went to heaven.
And the second fact is Michael Villela isolated himself and avoided talking to the other cast members during the shooting of the film so that they could fear him as much as possible.
And number 3, Michael Villela read the book Helter Skelter in order to research the role for Russ Thorne.
It takes a lot of love for a person to do this.
And the fourth one is Michael Villela based his physical body movements as Russ Thorne on the peacock.
So fact number 5, this was horror legend Brink Stevens' first death scene in a horror movie.
And number 6 is the original edit of Slumber Party Massacre was rated X because of the graphic violence.
Fact number 7, did you know that the production electricians would climb up the public utility poles and tap into the public power so they can shoot some scenes for the film because Roger Corman wouldn't budget in a generator for them to use on set?
And for the last fact we have, the first woman on-screen kill isn't until 58 minutes into the movie.
Thank you again for joining me, Horror Girl. I really appreciate you watching this film and going through this video with me. Thank you all for tuning in, and until the next video, I'll see you all soon.